Good day, everyone. We are the Group 1.
We're here to report the critical perspective. I, John Mel Pinaso, and I am the one that report the conflict theory.
And I am Rachel B. Ripoyo, and I am reporting instrumental instructional theory.
And my name is Matt Stephen Abbas, and I'm going to report the critical theory.
And my name is Juan Arapesuno, and my assigned topic is to discuss about the feminist theory.
I'm Jefferson A. Daron. My assigned topic is about power control theory.
I, RJ A. Mumukok.
I'm Johnny Manadani.
We are tasked to report the Latin theories.
My name is Johnny Suana. I'm assigned to report the life course theory.
Good day to each and everyone, especially to you, sir, today. So today, I will, we're the Group 1, so we will report the conflict theory. So, before we proceed or we dig deeply the idea of the conflict theory, so there are some questions from our reports. So these are the questions. So I will get my magic stick. So the question is, what is conflict theory? Second is, who is the author of the conflict theory? Third is, why do you think the author end up with this theory? So to answer this question is we must to explain the whole idea of the conflict theory. So first, what is conflict theory? Conflict theory first developed by Karl Marx. So the face of Karl Marx is this is the face of Karl Marx. So he's the one that developed the conflict theory. So conflict theory is first developed by Karl Marx. It is a theory that a society is in a state of perpetual conflict because of competition for the limited resources. So who do you think is the there is a conflict? So the conflict is between the poor and rich, between the proletariat and the bourgeoisies. So let's proceed. Conflict theories holds that social order is maintained by the dominations and power rather than by the consensus and conformity. According to the conflict theory, those with wealth and power try to hold on to it by any means possible, chiefly by suppressing the poor and powerless. So in this idea that the conflict theory explain that the rich people have more power or over up the poor people. So a basic premises of conflict theory is that individuals and groups within a society will work to try to maintaining their own wealth and power. Conflict theory focuses on the competition among groups within society over limited resources. So conflict theory views a social and economic institution as a tools of the struggles among groups or classes used to maintain inequality and the dominance of the ruling class. So who are those ruling class? So the ruling class is those people that are rich in the society, or those people that we call bourgeoisies or the ruling class. Marxist conflict theory says society as divided along the line of economic class between the proletarian working class and the bourgeoisies ruling class. Like what I said, it is the competition between the proletariat working class. Who are those proletariat working class? Those are the people that work in a certain workplace that managed by the bourgeoisies or the ruling class. So later, versions of conflict theories look at the other dimensions of conflict among the capitalist functions and among the various social, religious, and other types of groups. conflict theory has sought to explain a wide range of social phenomena, including wars, revolutions, poverty, discrimination, and the domestic violence. It ascribes most of the fundamental developments in human history, such as democracy and civil rights, to capitalist attempt to control the masses. Central tenets of conflict theory are the concepts of social inequality. So this is the concept which is in the social in the certain area in the social there is an inequality between the poor and rich. So the division of the resources and the conflict that exists among different socioeconomic classes. Karl Marx developed conflict theory in response to the exploitations of the poor working class by the rich capitalists. The advocated for the poor to rise against the rich for the equality in society. Word for day is the proletariat and working class and the bourgeoisie ruling class. So, in my explanation, I can say that the three questions are all answered. What is the conflict theory? So, conflict theory is developed by Karl Marx. It is a theory that society in its states of a perpetual conflict because of a competition for limited resources from rich to poor. So, who is the author of the conflict theory? So, the author of conflict theory is Karl Marx. So, why do you think the author end up with this theory? So, it is answered this explanation, exploitation of the poor working class by rich capitalists. The advocates for the poor to rise against the rich for equality in society. Word for the inequality for the society. So that's all for the conflict theory. And the other explanation will be explained by some of my group's mates. So that's all, sir. Thank you.
Good day, sir. My report topic is instrumental and structural. Instrumental, according to the judgmental view, the law and justice system serve the powerful and rich and enable them to impose the morality and standards of behavior of the entire society. Instrumental theories believes that the poor are motivated to commit crimes due to their frustrations in society because of their status. They believe that the criminal justice system is to serve the rich along with their beliefs. Some believe that the crime is necessary for the poor. So, it means this sa instrumental theories is justice is for a rich, not for a poor, because as we all can see is the most of the crime is the poor jud kay because of their status, the financials of their lives for every day, and that's why the instrumental is for a rich. So let's proceed the structural theories. Emphasize the power of society over the individual, and believe that the individual is largely controlled by a society. The society exists within the individual as a set of norms and values. These models and individuals' thoughts and guides their actions. These norms and values are gained through a socialization which that acts as form of a social control. Annotation of structural theories. Structural criminology is a new sociological approach to criminology that considers the relationship among the classes, gender, and races for a people to understand, and that causes crime. So, let's proceed the question. Explain and discuss the difference between the instrumental theory and structural theory. So, so my answer here is there is two types theories view controlled by the means and product differently from the one to another. First, we have the instrumental theories, and second, we have structural theories. Instrumental theories believe that the law, criminal justice are the tools used solely to control the poor, and contrast the instrumentals belief that the capitalists are used the states to their advantage in order to control the poor by forcing their morals and ways and living onto those in society. However, it can be inferred that the lower classes is arrested and convicted far more the way wealthy. This disparately leads to aggression that motivates criminal activity, which in turn hinders and however class is from shaping society. Capitalists identify criminology to showing that the poorer people are less likely to succeed in school. Namely, they are less intelligent and more likely engaged in criminal for a purpose of showing that they are in control in structuring. So based on my understanding is there is a discrimination between rich and poor because their sides with the rich rather than the poor because there is no rights for a poor to keep their to keep their own rights, and that's all. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm about to report the left realism theory. So, left realism theory is just one political ideology that focuses on the causes of crime and deviance. So, it focuses on the crime that it is also a political ideology. So, left realists believe that living in a capitalistic society, as in a society where private entities control trade and industry instead of the state, and it is the main source or cause of crime, then its relative deprivation, the rise of social media has made the factor the front runner for developing the criminal perspective. So it is the cause from a lot of criminals in the society. The marginalization. Essentially, this is what happens when groups and demographic of people are left without the feeling like they have a voice. So they can say what they can express. They can express their what is their feelings. Then subculture. This is an acceptance of resorting to illegal means to attain desires. Then the example of left realism theory is people who are excluded from being consumer in a capitalist society sometimes revert to criminal actions according to left realists. So they are revert means reborn into criminal, or they are being called criminals. That's all.
Good afternoon. My name is Matt Stephen Abbas and I'm going to report about critical theory. Critical theory, it refers to social philosophy that focuses on society and culture, meaning it reveals, critiques, and challenges power structures. For example, is the government. When it comes to smaller units, we have the family structures in which the parents are, of course, more powerful than the children because they're the ones that governs them. That simply defines power structures. When we say critical theory, it argues that social problems stem more from social structures and cultural assumptions than from individuals. So, a lot of social problems nowadays like racism, homophobia, and colorism most of those are not entirely created by an individual. Hate crimes like that are constructed socially, especially now that social media is very widely used. So when they say, for example, they see a cancelled celebrity on TikTok and they proceed to cancel that celebrity as well because it's trending and not because they know entirely the whole story as to why she was cancelled. Its aim include number 1, unmasking the ideology falsely, justifying some form of social or economic oppression in order to end it. Number 2, to critique and change society as a whole. Since critical theory have revealed that social problems actually don't stem from individuals but from social structures, it comes to a conclusion or a goal that it has to unmask false ideologies or those that are justifying the wrongdoings of social or economic aspects such as oppression. It aims to end it, to critique, and to reveal. Number 3, to find the underlying assumptions in social life that keep people from fully and truly understanding how the world works. A lot of people are still close-minded that when faced with situations that are not familiar to them, they make assumptions based on how they perceive things. So they don't really listen to other people's perspective, and that's why critical theory was created, in order to do something about it and promote open-mindedness for people and society in order to make them and fully understand how the world works. So these are the prominent figures of the first generation of critical theorists. Number 1 is Max Horkheimer in 1895 to 1973. Number 2 is Theodor Adorno in 1903 to 1969. Number 3 is Herbert Marcuse in 1898 to 1979. Number 4 is Walter Benjamin in 1892 to 1940. Number 5 is Frederick Pollock in 1894 to 1970. Number 6 is Leo Lowenthal in 1900 to 1993. Number 7 is Erich Fromm to 1900 to 1980. That is all. Thank you.
Good day, sir. My assigned topic is to discuss to you about the feminist theory. So, what is feminist theory? Feminist theory is the extension of feminism into theoretical, fictional, or philosophical discourse. It examines women's and men's social roles, experiences, interests, course, and feminist politics in a variety of fields, such as anthropology and sociology, communication, media studies, psychoanalysis, political theory, home economics, literature, education, and philosophy. In addition, feminism focuses on analyzing gender inequality. So, feminist theory now aims to interrogate inequalities and equities along the intersectional lines of ability, class, gender, race, sex, and sexuality. So, feminist theories also tackled about the inequality about the gender, sex, races, and also their standard in lives. So, and feminists seek to effect change in areas where these intersectionalities create powers inequality. So according to feminist theory, it also creates equality between the gender and sex of women. And so themes often explored in feminist theory include the discrimination, objectification, oppression, patriarchy, stereotyping, and art history and contemporary art and aesthetics. So in feminist theory, state also the discrimination between the men and women because according to the earliest century, the girl or the woman have experiencing a discrimination because of their status in life. Because according to feminist theory, the woman is weak and they don't even go to work. So, next, feminist movements have a campaign and continue for a woman's rights, including the rights to vote, run for public office, work, earn equal pay, own property, receive education, enter contracts, have equal rights within the marriage and maternity leave. So as of now, in the present day of modernization, the feminism theory is upgraded. The women have a right to vote or vote, run for public office, work, and earn equal. So from today, the women have a right to vote, to vote who they want to be a leader of the country or the society, and also earn equal pay. Also, women have a right to work and have equal pay, same to the men. And maternity leave. There are four major theories of feminism. This is number one, radical feminism. Blames the exploitation of a woman on men. Second, Marxist feminism. Belief that the gender inequalities will disappear. Third, liberal feminism. Discrimination prevents women from having equal opportunities. And the last, difference feminism. Concerned with the language and the relationship between power and knowledge rather than the politics and opportunities. So, the entire feminist theory is talk about the inequality, also the power of women. That's all. Thank you.
Today, my name is Jefferson A. Daron. I've been tasked to report about the power control theory. So, John Huggins explained differences in crime rates between men's and women's. It attributes them to the fact that girls and boys in families are brought up differently. Boys have more freedom and therefore more prone to delinquency. Girls are more strongly regulated. As a result, they develop more self-control and less prone to delinquency and risk behavior even as adults. So, power control theory integrates feminist theory, Marxist theory, and control theory. The basis of the power control theory, the basic assumption of the control theory that not deviant but adapted behavior must be explained. Every person will behave deviantly if he or she were not prevented from doing so by social control. It is primarily the family that exercises control early in a person's life. If this control lacking, a greater freedom and choice of behavior possibility arises. So with this theory, Huggins directs his attention to the gender and power relations. He examines the power relations within the families and distinguishes between patriarchal, matriarchal, and egalitarian families. So, patriarchal, a society which means dominant in family decision making. So, it is meant to decision. And matriarchal, it is the society in which women dominate the family decision. It is the female decision making. And the egalitarian families, it is authority which spouses are regarded to be equal. So, Huggins derives the power position for the individual family members from their occupation outside the family. If only one spouse is employed, he or she has more power, possibilities, and resources than the other. In patriarchal family, the male partner has more power. Girls are socialized into the inferior role at early age and exposed to more extensive control than boys. They are granted more freedom, allowing them to engage in more delinquent behavior. Control theory, however, has some limitation. In particular, it cannot explain exactly how the social position of individuals affect their educational style. The distinction between the three family types is very static and completely neglects class affiliation. Moreover, this model does not explain the behavior of the children from atypical families. So, Huggins draws our attention to neglected topic in criminology, namely the question why men are so much more likely than women to be conspicuous as perpetrators. So, empirical studies confirm that the connection between family structures and tendency to delinquency, power control theory thus perform the important task of combining political structure and explanatory approaches that are related to the individual. So, it shows that it is no coincidence how individuals are socialized and how much self-control develop. In the contrary, the role of certain groups within a society is reproduced in families, and there is a direct connection between social structures and family structures. That's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. This is my report about the developmental perspective. The developmental perspective is considered your earlier years in life. So, my idea about the developmental perspective is your past or memories that changes from your child until now you will become adult. The 4 stages of cognitive development, there are first sensorimotor stage. Sensorimotor stage, birth of the child will be 2 years. The infant in this stage first understand their environment through their reflexes. The second one is pre-operational stage. The age of the child of that time will be 2 to 6 years. And the children in this stage are incognitive or unable to take on another perspective. They do not yet understand laws of conservation. So the child of that time didn't know about our laws and our government. And the third one is concrete operational stage. The age of the child of that time will be 6 to 11 years. In this stage, the children understand the laws of conservation and they begin understand relationship. So that time the child of that time can understand about the relationship or laws of conservation. And the last one is formal operational stage. The age of the child on that time will be 12 years old. So that is the last. The child will become adult. In this stage, the children learn to understand hypothetical and can take on multiple perspectives. So before we come in adult, we must pass first in the 4 stages of cognitive development. And that's all my topic, sir. Thank you.
Good day, sir.
My name is RJ Mamukok.
I'm Charlie Manadani. We are tasked to report latent theories.
Latent theories hold that some underlying condition present at birth or soon after controls behaviors. Suspect traits include low IQ, impulsivity, and personality structure. These underlying traits explain the continuity of offending because 1% it remains with a person throughout his or her life. Example of latent theories is genetic abnormalities, and individuals may have fewer inhibition or other issues that would predispose them to crime due to genetic abnormalities. Second one is the defective intelligence, either not able to distinguish right from wrong or unable to empathize with victims.
And the next one is brain function damage. Damage caused by the traumatic head injury or chemical changes can alter someone's personality, possible causing a propensity for crime. So the example of this is closed head injury. This head injury occurs when an outside force, such as the blow to the head, doesn't penetrate the skull but it causes injury and brain swelling. Next is explosiveness. People with explosive personalities have trouble making rational decisions. This could manifest as explosive to commit crime such given the opportunity. Example of this is blurt something out by something you had not planned to, or run across the street without looking. To a degree, this kind of behavior is common, especially in children or teenagers, and isn't necessarily a sign of trouble. And the last one is substance abuse or impaired judgment. Theoretical contribute to criminal activities in two major ways. And the use of illegal drugs or the use of prescription of over-the-counter drugs or alcohol for purposes other than those for which they may be used, and excessive amounts. And that's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm assigned to report the life course theory. The life course theory looks at the health and built-in continuum that place biological, behavioral, physical, social, and environmental factors have interaction to shape health results across the root of the personal life. So kaning life of theory kay nakapokus siya sa mga health sa behavioral, psychological, social, and environmental. Examples include a character who has received married at an age of 20 is exactly possibility to have rather early transition of having a baby, evaluating a baby, sending a child away when a baby is truth grow up in assessment of her age group. Ang halimbawa ng ang example ning kuan is kanang 20 nga kuan ini magpakasal siya nga 20 din na siya anak dayon inigbag kadako sa kanang sa iyang anak ay kanang subaybayan ang mga kalusugan o kanang sa isa ka bata. Glenn Edgar theorized the life director has been 5 principles live on expand develop human agency, historic time of biologic place, timing and decision, and link lives. The life course theory suggests that each life stage influence the next day and together the social, economic, and physical environment in which we live have to profound influence our health and the health of our communities. Thank you.